more that time passes by in your life, the more you realize the things that are not prevalent or present. The more you realize, the more, well, because, the more cats have come and gone, the more dogs have come and gone, um, the more birds have come and gone, the more butterflies and bees have come and gone. And it's different. You've got to understand this new phenomenon of mass communications is radically different than what humans have existed through story and manipulation. That the capacity to manipulate with technology is radically diminishing because of its extensiveness, its understanding of we are human, okay, and the aspects of being human. And now, what held people in wonder of living somewhere better than here, because here was so miserable because of selfishness, no longer is, one day the bucket will go to the well, one day the bottom of the bucket will drop out, And so that bottom of that bucket dropped out January 22nd, 2013 for sure. Okay. I'm certain. Okay. And so, that day, they were given a choice, to recognize Parsons and what he did and the other people like him before him, or to continue to try to use hypocrisy to kill each other. And they chose hypocrisy to kill each other over what Parsons had done and other people like him before had done. Right? So, sitting there listening to Nancy Wilson and Julian Cannonball Adderley. Anybody know who Julian Adderley? Julian Adderley lays out on some stuff with Miles Davis too. Cannonball, he's a good jazz musician. I like Wallace Roney a lot too. You know, he's lots older now. And stuff. Jazz musicians when I was a kid. Stephanie really liked Kevin Eubanks, who used to play on the Tonight Show. I like George Benson and Earl Clue. Stanley Jordan. The Crusaders. Welton Felder, he was also part of the Crusaders, wasn't he? Love is a rush, I'm defenseless. Okay. I don't have that. I gotta get that. I gotta put that on my MP3. One day it happened, because it's on YouTube now. I found it. It was okay. I couldn't find it for the longest time. I have to put that on there. I like that one. That girl's voice is wonderful. And it's weird because, she has this beautiful voice, and why was there not as much quality music to be made and sung by Elijah Goury as there was by Ella Fitzgerald or Nancy Wilson? There's no denying that girl's voice is wonderful, right? One day it happened, as it promises. She has a wonderful voice, right? Anybody who can listen to that song go, wow, that girl's voice. Me and Rodney and Donna were like, wow, she's good, right? Why wasn't there more material to where we have, sophisticated lady? And maybe, did she ever try to sing? Did we ever let her, hey, Elijah, sing, if ever I would leave you. How's that sound? Well, she'd have to get one that she likes, that sounds good, that she would sing, Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. I don't know, but maybe some Diana Ross songs. I don't know, but you're like sitting there looking at it going, okay, what was it? Copyrights. You can't sing that. Same thing I ran into on Facebook. You can't have that song on here. You don't have the rights to play it. What? You don't have the okay from the money. That's just batshit fucking crazy. Well, apparently, it's not apparently, Facebook was really into this whole, they'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and your Jesus die of arsons to the bitter end. And YouTube turned left in Albuquerque. Right? You're like, wow, yeah. Would I turn on the gas in the stove if my buddy Rocky was hiding? You might, Rabbit, you might. Would I throw on this limit? Okay, Rabbit, you've convinced me. Okay, so don't leave us here at the Rabbit. I'm just kidding. I'm not saying that's what's happening at Google. I'm just saying Google's not in charge of the military and NASA any more than Facebook is. Okay, but you got your options on how to get through this, right? And I think it's obvious that the one who corrects technology is Parsons, and not the people that use it to mass murder people that are cloners and trying to put their brains on robots. I think it's obvious through all the stories and all the religions in the world. Okay, the focal point of correcting technology and making technology reflect something as beautiful as Samson's faith and David's faith, as opposed to the Great Wall of China, the Sphinx, the pyramid, you know what I'm saying? All these big giant monuments to genocidal insanity. Or a house, a home, a family, and a man that loved us so. She don't have to leave us to during the burlesque show, right? Right. So that's wonderful, And so I understand that the happy, she had Happy Talk. I went to go listen to it. I was like, oh, it's Happy Talk from South Pacific. Noah's little dancing favorite. Amy wishes she had a camera. So they were doing Happy Talk and Noah's off doing his own little thing. I could see him doing it in my head. I know my Noah. Okay. He does it all the time. It's so cute. She was so proud of him. She said the teacher was trying to get Noah, and Noah's off doing his own thing, And teacher's like, but no, do this. What? Like he always did with Natalie and stuff too. And Natalie would do it too. All the rest of the kids did exactly as they were told. Noah was doing her thing. Natalie's probably watching in the crowd going, that's my brother. So I had to work. I was working. I was busy doing the extortion gig thing with the other kids. Oh, yeah, Life is what happens when you're off making other plans. I wasn't making other plans. Other people had other plans for me, and then life happened, and then I had to go back and go, son of a bitch. What a bunch of assholes. They're not beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boy. Life is what has happened while they're making other plans. My life is a precious gift from the glory of grace. So is Patrick's, so is Natalie's, so is Emily's, so is Noah's, so is Kate's, so is Crummy's, right? And our lives shouldn't have been a part of their plans, I was sitting there and I went to this one where this guy, he's talking and they said, well, he's from Gaston, I think he's somewhere like North Carolina with this big modular home thing. I was like, oh, I'll bite. It's like, how many square feet? Good God. Why? He made it. He's going to sell it. He's local. I'm like, okay, but that thing's terrible. It's a bunch of manufactured homes piled up on top of each other. Okay. This guy's successful. He makes lots of money and people buy these things. You're like, they have watched a lot of those. They're going to build this lake house. It's really nice. And they'll do it in this minute. And they show you all the video, right? And you're like, it's a box. It's a fucking box. No, I'm not saying we should all have houses built by the kiddo in Texas that God wants to builds a concrete structures for the people at Fort Bliss to keep killing people for government contracts and mercenary work, and build a landing pad on the moon. No, it's insane. All right. Okay. A digital printer for houses instead of laying concrete and stuff. You'd have to look at the longevity of it. You know, what is more structurally sound and what is better is the one with the digital printer that has it in that little weird style that he has from the digital printer, laying it down like a cake. The cack, the father of the bride. Or actually putting the boards up and flooring in the concrete, which one will sustain itself better. My thing is, I think probably the digital printer, the way it lays down on top of each other, has more of a natural formation. Okay, so it probably hold up better. But will it, and it's on the inside, will the cracks, the crumbs and stuff may way for more critters to come in, and so who knows, so maybe it's better to find a way that kind of a compromise that has in between. I don't know, where you do the digital printer, but with the digital printer you put up the things on the sides. Will the digital printer, things on the sides get in the way? I don't know, maybe you do it in sections. Nah, because in sections it doesn't have as good a structural integrity. We'll have to wait and see. Well, maybe you could digital print it on the outside. Well, on the outside looking in, who knows? But cracks and crevices and whatnot. Adobe houses work really good if you do them right. How do we get them into, so we have to look at the correct way to do things. And how will the longevity be? The one kid from Japan that had the good idea about the circular concrete structures in places where they have tidal waves, hurricanes, and tsunamis. I was like, that's brilliant. That's a really brilliant idea. Well, that comes from thousands of years of feeling family suffering because of being in those type of conditions and those kind of natural reactions happening, frequently or periodically, right? Either way, when it happens and you're not prepared, it's devastating, right? It's better to be prepared than to be devastated, right? Okay. Tell me the truth. Do you want him now? Tell me the truth. Are you going to leave? Right? Darling, I'm saying I know something's wrong beneath still waters. Your love is gone. That's one of the cool things about me is all the people that I attempted to love are gone. Okay? And all the people that the temple set and Illuminati fucked me with ain't never been. Okay. So that makes me going, okay, life's eternal grace is infinite. Que sera, right? It makes it a lot easier because, again, Judo Krishnamurtis and Suzuki's, and the rich, powerful, influential propaganda people don't want anything to do with me. They avoid me like I'm the plague, right? And the people that are being abused with me want to get away from me because of all the people that avoid me like the plague, And so if the people that don't want to be around me want to hang out with the people that avoid me like the plague, I don't want to hang out with them, right? But if the people that want to be around me can't be around me because the people that avoid me like the plague, and then once we correct the technology, the people that are the plague will be, there you go, no more plague, right? Rapture, no, not another Debbie Harry, make it stop, right? No, Bob, sidewalk talk does not help you pass the lie detector test. Actually, it does. Madonna's sidewalk talk, yeah. Somebody told him that if you have a stupid song that you repeat or anything and then answer the questions in between doing the song, you'll pass the test because you won't be thinking. You'll just be focused on that. What's your name, Bob? Sidewalk, where you are. That's what he did. And he lied his ass off and passed with flying colors. Me, I don't really have anything I think I need to hide. I failed it on my name because the guy asked me if my name was Earl Parsons. My name is Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. So I failed that part of the lie detector test. Okay. What? Well, everybody calls me Earl, but my name's Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. All right, that's my name. So I failed that on the lie detector test. Is your name Earl Parsons? Yes. You're lying. Well, it's Ralph Earl Parsons Jr., but everybody calls me Earl. My name is Earl. You read the Bible? Okay. It's the book of Revelation, right? So tell me the truth. Do you want him now? So, happy, happy, happy tappy talk. Talk about what you like to do. You got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna make a dream come true, right? So yeah, I'll have to get Elijah Gouldry's Love is a Rush. Yeah. Walton Felder is the saxophone player on that, and he's the leader of the band. You know, the part of Dan Fogelberg's father will be played by Walton Felder, and the leader of the band is tired, and his eyes are growing old. You know, so you know, it happens, and I, instead of seeing life as an attrition. And you know, is this and then you get old and you die, right? Well, make sure everybody comes around and says thank you, and thank you for your faith, and thank you for all your work to help love us and help us love one another through faithful work. Book of Malachi, right? That's the way I always heard it would be. Going to marry me, will marry. What about you ask how much I love you? Must I explain? I love you, oh my darling, like roses need rain. You ask how long I'll need you, I'll tell you true. Until the 12th of never, I'll still be loving you. Hold me close, never let me go. Is that tangible when you have rotten, self-righteous corporations in your TV, in your oatmeal box, in your kids' entertainment system? It's entertaining to kill the people in the Call of Duty, the Assassin's Creed. Make sure that we promptly pray the prostitutes and, okay, Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. Oh, good God. And then they wonder what the fuck's wrong with their children. What's wrong with our children? Why are our children so fucking batshit crazy? I don't know. It doesn't have anything to do with The Walking Dead, The Living Dead, Jurassic Park, the Fallen Kingdom. You're like, okay, what's the whole thing? I gotta see this. It's like, it shouldn't be here. It's a dinosaur, right? But you got to see it. And they have all this orchestra music, you know, like John Williams and shit. And here comes the Death Star. And it's it's like, make it stop. I'm working on it. Gosh damn it. They're stupid. They're stupid. What can I say? You're like, they're fucking nuts. I know. Okay, I know that. Everybody who prays to Jesus, well, I happen to be Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, Earl, the guy from the book of Revelation. Is your name Earl Parsons? No, it's Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. Okay, but they call me Earl. And so, but Amy calls me Ralphie. Yeah. Yeah, my Susie Bear. Yeah, she calls me Ralphie. She doesn't call me Earl. Steffi calls me Earl. Because that's what everybody called me then. Even though everybody called me Earl Southwest Airlines, but Amy still called me Ralphie. Okay. Well, because she's Susie Bear, and that's her special name for me. Okay. Because we get together, it was, your name's Earl? No, it's Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. Oh, Ralphie. What's it all about, Ralphie? Right, so she called me her own special little name. Well, she's Sean Puffy Combs. She owned me. Right? Amy didn't invent Amy. The people that gave you Sean Puffy Combs tried to invent Amy. Amy didn't want to be Amy. Amy wanted to commit suicide. Amy said she was a schizophrenic and a psychopath. She used to sit and tell me when she would freak out and screw around and try to destroy our marriage and make our the kids' lives miserable. She would sit and tell me, and I'd go, no, Amy, you're okay. You can do this. Just think of Noah. Think of it, think of Noah. Laugh, don't cry. I know he'd want it that way. Happy, happy talk, right? And then you got Emily, okay? Now, Natty's tough. Emily's tough too, but Emily's sweet, and Emily needs sweetness. You know, you and Natty got a lot of Sylvia Gomez in you, but Emily's got more Janice in it, and Emily's just a big old loving sweetheart. That woman's a bitch. Let's make some jock biscuits and we'll wrap them in pigs in a blanket, eat some ice cream, and then we'll talk shit about her for 5 minutes, and then we'll watch some TV and forget all about the crazy bitch. Right. There you go. Emmy has more of that sweetness of her grandmother. Okay. Natty and Amy have a little bit more of that spunkiness of, survive, try to sing songs from El Telus and get the hell out of Florida, out of the Everglades of Florida, of Sylvia Gomez. And Kate's got a little bit of both. Kate is more like her mom, a lot like her mom, a little bit of both. Emily has that sweetness of her mom. Let's just eat some food and make the world go away and listen to some Eddie Arnold, right? And Natty's, got more of the Sylvia. I'm blowing this fucking popsicle stand. I'm going to the airport. And Noah's the protector, and Crumb is the smart one that will try to protect everybody from the people trying to set them up for genocide operations, and says they have bad brain activity. And it's not Natalie's fault. She's just ignoring annoying. I'm just kidding. She's so cute. But and then there's Patrick. Patrick's Stephanie's child. Take me to my father. Okay, I was wrong, So instead of talking to his father, he was abused by military intel and sees the Vatican's comic book character as his dad. Because the Vatican's comic book character is better than his dad. How is he better than me? I just don't know. When they told me they was raping little girls to death in Mexico, I got up and went and jumped up when no one else in Fort Huachuca did anything to help. Okay? Your Jesus watches and masturbates from the clouds. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. He's supposed to be having sex with all the nuns after they're dead. I've read about it in history class. Right? Sirwana with the bishop, all you do is eat chocolate and dream about having sex with Jesus after you die. It's like, who in their right mind wouldn't, hanging around with all you fucking Pizarros and Cortezes and shit? Any woman in her right mind, I want to be a nun. I want to go to Mexico and eat chocolate and dream about making love to Jesus after I die in the clouds. Tashina. Come on, Windwalker. Grandmother, this is a horrible joke. I'm here frozen as a mummy at the top of Lake Minnecaca, right? That's horrible. Isn't that horrible to do to women? It is. Jesus is a perfect husband when you live his perfect love. If you don't live his perfect love, you have coca leaves in your cheek as you freeze to death because people are sacrificing you to their egos. That's just batshit crazy. I know, but do you guys know? It's Flash Gordon, Mandrake, the Phantom, and whatever. No, I don't know. Okay. Well, wake me up if we get to heaven. Let me sleep before we go to hell. Okay, I'm going to go back to sleep. Okay, guys.